In this video, I'm going to go through an overview of transformations of functions. First of all, what does a transformation mean? Well, a transformation clearly means a change. So let's say, for example, this function right here, this f of x, which is basically made up of like these two lines, this line here and that line there, and by the way, with these coordinates, 1, 2, 2, 4, and 4, 1, what happens if I wanted to change it? So in other words, what happens if I wanted to stretch it in the y direction, or if I wanted to like compress it in the x direction so it looks thinner? Or what if I wanted to reflect it over the x-axis or even the y-axis? Or what if I wanted to move it left or right or up or down? How do we change these functions? And then what you'll realize later on is that this is the fundamental, these transformations, they're the fundamental of all functions. And it's extremely important that we understand them. What I'd like you to do right now is sort of just copy this example down. In other words, copy this graph and copy these 3 edge points throughout, because we're going to use this example throughout to help our understanding of transformations of functions. So for example, the coordinates here, for example, are 1, 2. So 1, 2, the x is 1, the y is 2. For this coordinate, it's 2, 4. So it's 2, 4. And for that last coordinate over there, it's 4, 1. It's 4, 1. And there's no open circles here, which means that all these 3 points are included. So these 3 coordinates are part of this function. Let me go over a quick overview of the transformations. There are actually many types of transformations. We can rotate. So just to go back here, we can actually rotate this function. We can turn it upside down. We can do actually many things. But we're actually only going to focus on 3 types of transformations. And these 3 transformations, so 3 transformations, so these are 3 very important transformations, and they must follow. They must follow this order. So the first type of transformations that we're going to study is called a reflection. So I'm just going to write R. So a reflection. And there are actually 2 types of reflections. There's a reflection across the x-axis, and there's also another one which is across the y-axis. So that's the first type of transformation. The second type of transformation, and keep in mind, again, I must insist, they must follow this order. It's very, very important. The second type of transformation that we're going to go over is a stretch. So that's with S. So a stretch. And again, there are 2 types of stretches. There's a vertical stretch. Which means we stretch things in the y direction. And then there's a horizontal stretch, which means we stretch things in the x direction. So there's a vertical and a horizontal stretch. And finally, the last type of transformation that we're going to do, again, I'm going to say that, and this is going to sound redundant, but I'm going to say it again, is that they must follow this order. So reflection, stretch, and the last one is called translation. And what translation just means is moving the function simply left or right or up or down. So translation, so it's moving left or right, and it's and or up or down. So we're going to investigate these 3 transformations step by step, and we'll see them in the next few videos.